welcome back, everybody. So, we had just finished downtime, and we need to find some unwholesome activity, a score, if you will, to to make.
Yes, we do. What does the Shroud of Dania want to write onto this world? Just don't no.
Oh, those wacky cats.
No.
I don't know. Can you put us back to the
Yes,
cruise ship?
I sure can. Let's do that. Oop.
No, we
So-
still have 4 crew coins.
You do. And I mean, you can try to get your blue coat bribes back, either the same ones or new ones. You can try to put an end to this war with the canal dockers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Whether it's brokering a peace or wiping them out. You can figure out something else that you want. You can see about gaining what you need, like from like permission or whatever, to take over. What is it called again? Dingletown.
I mean, that's a really cool one as well, but I think we should first end our war before we risk starting new ones.
Yes,
new ones.
That would be sensible.
I mean, that makes the most sense, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys still look to Farouk as your leader, so.
I mean,
Yeah, but
true.
Yeah.
Oh, unofficially.
I thought we were an autonomous collective.
I mean, he's kind of. I mean, I think that Farouk considers himself to be the high priest of the Shroud of Diania.
Well, yeah, he might consider himself that. I don't know if anybody else believes it, but
I don't know who has contradicted him on that claim, and Len supports him in it. So yeah, the de facto leader, I guess I should say.
Okay, so it seems like we have 3 choices. We either stop the war with the canal dockers somehow, or we go into the Crowsfoot, make friends with one of those gangs, just start working on that track, or we help, or we try to make friends with the Grey Cloaks. So you start getting our bribes back, perhaps.
I say we set an example for the whole world what happens to a crew when they try to mess with us.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
yeah, I could go with that. Well, okay. Do we have a sense of how close the canal dockers are to either just throwing in the towel or being just like disrupted so much that they cease to be?
Yeah, how like, are they still a tier 2 gang?
They are still a tier. They are. Hold on. Let me double check my notes here. 1 second. I've got notes in like 3 different places on this. I need to reconcile them. I should have done that on the break. I should have realized. I should have thought ahead as to what you might do.
I didn't think you could protect us, except in general.
That's true. That is true. So where is my?
As an occasional GM, I will say that is highly overrated.
Putting all of your notes organized in one place. What?
Oh well, that and trying to plan ahead for anticipate what people are going to do.
No.
When they get like
always backfires.
I mean, I GM by the seat of my pants, especially when I'm GMing Blades in the Dark. So I just try to keep extensive notes and then cross-reference. So, Canal Dockers. They are... Wrong. Okay. So they normally have a strong hold. When they went to war, it became a firm hold only. And after the last blow that you dealt to them, it is now a weak hold, but they are still a tier 2 gang. If you hit them hard again, it will knock them down a peg. If you manage to hit them incredibly hard, but it would be incredibly risky, then you might be able to wipe them out. But you are a tier 1 gang barely by the seat of your pants, in a weak place. And um, if they do a strong enough counter strike, it might knock you down back to a tier 0. So,
Did I hear incredibly risky?
Did
Yeah.
someone say desperate actions?
I mean, there would be a shit ton of desperate actions.
I heard
I already
incredibly
hear
risky.
that we are all in.
Uh-huh.
Did someone say free experience?
It's true.
Free
So,
experience,
yeah.
crazy, risky. I mean, what's
Let's
there
do
not
it.
to love?
It's true.
So what would
So,
be an
yeah.
incredibly dangerous and incredibly clear way to show the world that they should not mess with us?
Take out their butts. Take out their way of living. Salt their fields and burn their villages.
Yeah. Do they have like a semi-centralized place where they keep their like all of their boats when they're not using them, like that?
So I think
That's them.
mechanically, the canal dockers are basically, if you were to give them like a crew type from the book, they are basically smugglers. You know, basically they're mostly the people who are taking stuff from boats, moving them, so on and so on. So the they are they have turf that is essentially like their like section of the canals. You know what I mean? So one thing that you might consider going after would be that turf and make it so that it's um that is like your section of the canals.
I have an idea. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like, or if you're looking for like their headquarters, there definitely is a headquarters location. So it's a matter of, do you want to like try to just cut off the head, or do you want to try to like separate and surround?
I think we tried to cut off the hands first.
I think
Take
we
hands.
could try and cut off the head. That works as well. But I have a great idea. I'm pretty sure they declared war on us by violating one of our statues with like their tags.
Huh?
What
Yeah,
if
that
we do the same, but in a more Shroud of Diania way? You know, their boats suddenly growing weird tentacles and being, unusable, or their headquarters, like in some way doing the same thing depending on what we go for, like some kind of weird, spooky, like destroying their whatever we want to destroy by messing with some arcane shit.
I like that because I mean, the last thing they did was to try and blow up our headquarters essentially. So if we're going to escalate from there, I think it needs to be a creating some sort of rip in reality in their headquarters that will be like an ongoing growing thing.
Yeah. I
Wow.
might suggest an intermediary and also a bit of striking two birds with one stone. We can invite him out under the pretense of like a peace talk to this like wrecked ship that we happen to know about. That also happens to be a bit of a rip in reality.
Wouldn't that get us at war with the crow's foot, though?
I mean, you can
Well,
always
yeah.
on them. Like, they were definitely the aggressors here.
So,
Weird stuff happened out there. We barely got away
Kelsa.
with our lives.
Elsa, where with crow's foot, would that just be like plain, yeah, you just suicided, or?
I mean, so as far as the gangs there, so there's three major gangs that operate out of Crowsfoot, and that is the Crows, the Lamp Blacks, and the Red Sashes,
They're all tier 2, right?
and they are all tier 2. If you were to be involved in hostilities in Tangletown, all three of them would declare war on you and then immediately move to wipe you out.
Seems like a bad idea. I mean, even for us.
Yeah, like they are very militant about maintaining Tangletown as a safe place, or if not safe, at least neutral to their neutral territory. And basically, the way they do that is they keep all gangs out of that area, so it's very not entirely crime free because there's still petty theft or what have you, just as it happens, especially in crowded locations with very little privacy. But that none of the crimes are violent, and none of them are directly tied to a gang.
Okay.
So
Tangletown is like a living area?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is.
So probably convincing them to rent it out seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, people like it. It used to be a Leviathan hunter ship that got pulled partly upstream into the river where it was too shallow really for it, and it it grounded there and is sticking partway like at an angle, like it's not a steep angle, like it's maybe at a shallow angle, sticking out of the river, and there are hundreds of rooms inside under the water level that people live in. There are multiple dozens of boats that are like tied up to it, either as transportation for the people living inside the hull or as like houseboats just anchored there. And because of its kind of status as outside of gang politics, it is people who can't afford to live in a good neighborhood, like, want to live there, but it's not like you can buy your way on. It's this weird combination of you have to be a certain type of poor
Like
to live there.
Indebted to the gangs type of poor?
Not exactly. You want to be like, you have to have a way to get out there. Like you have to have a boat. But if you're willing to be indebted to the gangs, it's going to be easier to live on land and just dedicate yourself to paying protection money to one gang or another. This is like people who, you have to be opportunistic, and I mean, I'm trying to, like, I feel there's a certain level of camaraderie of these people that live there. Not such that they are their own faction, but in such that they are a very tight knit community, and there's only so many rooms that are there. And if you just pull up your boat and are like, hey, I'm going to start spending the night here, there's
Some kind of local leaders.
Yeah. There's no one that's really in charge. It's more like just group consensus that if you pull up your boat and just tie down, you're gonna get interviewed by your neighbors, and if they don't all approve of you, you know, your ropes are getting cut and you're getting pushed off. Not like into the water, but like your boat is drifting away. Um,
So part of what I'm hearing here, at least, is that they would not be cool with us using that as a place for a neutral meeting ground.
they might.
And
You don't know.
okay.
If you can sell it to them, there's a possibility. But
opening a
there's-
rift in time and space there, like that seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bad idea.
Yeah. And if there was an altercation between us and the canal dockers there, even if we did our utmost to make it look like they were the aggressors and we were just
I like how it's not like even if they are the aggressors.
Oh yeah.
It's if we make it look like they're
That's always a good idea.
But even if we created that impression, they still would be unhappy with us being involved in an altercation there. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys don't really have any business being there. So if you were there, because they use it as a meeting ground for like them to do negotiations on neutral ground between those three factions or between one of those three factions and another faction. So if you're there and you're not meeting with one of them, I mean, if you arranged with them beforehand, if you're like, hey, here's us paying a stipend to use your neutral ground, then cool, totally fine. But if the neutral ground is broken, you are responsible. That's part of the agreement. If you paid money first and then the party you were meeting broke the neutral ground, then maybe you would not be like killed, but like forced to pay like a penalty for bad decisions. That kind of thing.
Okay, so we might want to be a bit more friendly with one of the gangs before we attempt something on site.
Yeah, this sounds like the wrong kind of crazy.
Yeah. So we're back to like putting tentacles and stuff or ripping reality somewhere near their base. So do we want to go for the base or do we want to go for the boats? Is the question, or something else?
Yeah, I think we should start with the boats to cripple them, weaken them a bit before we go after the main base.
I could just make a bomb that can blow either the boats or the headquarters up, and I get to blow up headquarters, and if they are disorganized, then they will just rip them themselves apart.
Think, imagine the possibilities. Instead of just blowing stuff up, you could, make the boats morph into like interesting things. Change like the characteristics of the wood. Who knows? Maybe wood to flesh conversion. It's always been a dream of yours.
Yes.
Or perhaps
enough we could turn them into hulls.
I think
Not really. I mean, these are just like rowboats mostly.
Okay.
The thing is, if he made it work, what would be better if we blow up the headquarters that he would anyway, or we blow up the boats that we could use?
I mean, do we
I'd personally also be for going after the headquarters. But I'd be fine for going with the boats. But either what we do, we shouldn't just do it like normal blowing up. I think that just wouldn't be us.
Of course.
Yeah.
We do have a bunch of demons who've been interested in impregnating people.
In mass.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh God, that is horrible. That is terrible.
Well, okay. I am totally down with mass demonic pregnancy, but I think that there needs to be some more setup first.
Yeah.
I mean,
step 2 of the plan.
Yes.
But we could make that
Then
But-
profit.
Yes,
That-
yes,
that might-
exactly.
that might mess with the credibility of the canal doctors if they suddenly all became pregnant.
Yeah, would be terrible for
I
morale.
mean,
Okay.
you guys don't have the. I mean, with the ritual you currently have, you'd have to kidnap each one of these people individually, literally tie them down, do a huge ritual that costs a lot of money and components, and also for sanity.
Do you need that?
It's an expendable resource.
It's totally optional,
Do
but
you even have one of those?
I mean, it's not like something you could just like. I'm going to draw a circle around their house, and then they're pregnant. It's much more complicated and intimate than that.
Maybe we can adapt the ritual. Of course, that would take like a lot of work and such. But maybe we can make this a slightly longer term plan that requires multiple scores and maybe some downtime work as well. Where we find ourselves a new ritual, we find some spirits that are interested, and we could just go for plain old possession. Just have them all be possessed in some way. Like maybe we could make it a longer term thing where we just like we didn't go for their boats or their base. We just go for them. Why compromise their structures when we just can, compromise them themselves?
We could like maybe engineer a plague, like an occult plague that that wouldn't like spread beyond them. Of course, I mean, yes, it would, but it'd be mostly them.
Yeah.
How about laughing gas? I mean, not the normal boring one, but the one that makes people permanently laugh. So.
Well, that would be going from Scarecrow to Joker. That.
Yeah, going for the gallery of Batman villains.
I don't know. Like I like the idea of using Farouk's current plan and integrating it in some way. Maybe not directly, but this kind of working relationship with demons seems interesting.
Yeah. Well, how about we try and create like a sort of a Greek fire that also weakens the boundaries between worlds. Like it renders an area particularly dangerous to visit even after the blaze has gone out, because things slip through.
I mean, that would be a good way to like start things off, but I feel like we'd have to do more, like give the canal dockers some kind of concoction that makes them more vulnerable to possession by demons or something like that. I mean, Greek fire would be an innocuous way to get stuff in, because everybody can imagine us setting fire on the canal dockers. That won't surprise anybody particularly. That should be the start of the plan.
So this is just like a straight up assault, or is this a cult plan where you are going to integrate weird mystical bullshit?
We're definitely going to integrate weird mystical bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
I just it seemed like you were like, well, just hold off on the weird mystical bullshit.
No. The idea was to use like some Greek fire, that will also weaken the the link between realities. So that demons at that location where the fire had been had an easier time coming through. As part of like
that
a
would
plan.
definitely, you guys would definitely need to do some research in order to make Greek fire that did
definitely.
That is not something that currently exists.
That's my specialty.
We could definitely do like some kind of excursion to the
would
Deathlands.
like to make that. Yeah.
We could start by some kind of excursion to the Deathlands to get like the ingredients that we need for this Greek fire, or maybe like specific like amulets or things that are there that may be necessary.
So yeah, if so like we can do the score basically as a way to fill in a clock to research how to make the Greek fire thing. Where is my page on how to do goals?
I mean, we can also just spend coin. Like we have 4 crew coins still.
So hold on a second.
I mean,
alchemy.
I think, but maybe we're making this more complicated than it needs to be. I mean, maybe the score should just be like slipping some of the concoction that liquefies people into their specific drinking water.
Okay, so then maybe
that involves occult bullshit, but it's something that we sort of already have on hand, so we're actively actually taking them down a peg rather than doing some research thing while the war continues.
Yeah, I
mean, maybe that's our plan of attack, just to make sure that
because like creating a new formula is a downtime action, a long-term project clock, which you could just spend a bunch of money to burn through right away, but then it's possible that you might need to do a score to get some weird ingredients,
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as I understand, where we were with liquefying people is that Zing had made this once,
yes.
And he wasn't necessarily able to.
He wasn't able to
make
recreate
it.
He did it to TikTok as a one-time thing, and I don't know if it was like something that he drank or just like something that like you put on his skin and then touch him with an electrode, or how. I don't think we got into this gory specifics of how you turned him into a pile of goo.
Probably
but
I inject
an injection. Okay, yeah. So if you want to do it again, we would basically be like, you'd have to write it down this time. Okay. Like, basically, we would be doing the create a new formula process as outlined in the book, which means that I ask you a question and you ask me, like, as the clock fills, I ask you questions and you ask me questions. We've done it before, so we have a fairly good idea what those answers are going to be, but you'd still need to go through the actual process of filling the 8 Sigma clock.
I mean, that sounds like a good idea. We could make liquefying our ammo. I mean, we've kind of been busy doing that anyway.
Yeah, I think you have a clock, right?
So Yin was working on a clock specifically of not necessarily discovering how this works, but you making a certain batch of it for the silver nails, and then her giving silver nails, like there were some specific instructions I remember. We didn't decide what they were, but you can't do it without having a set of specific instructions on how to make it happen, like whether it's 2 different concoctions that you need to inject or whatever. So Yin would give the silver nails those instructions, and you would make them a batch, but that wasn't necessarily for discovering how it worked.
Yeah, that was like you getting that done so that you could have more favor with the silver nails.
Exactly. So I imagine we'd have to start over, but we have 4 coins, so we could just blow through that.
Sure.
And I think other people have more too. So yeah, if you guys want to just get this started, we can definitely do that. So, yeah, you've done this before. You've made this particular concoction, although it wasn't what you were like. When you got this effect, it was not the effect you were looking for. It was the effect that you wound up with. You weren't looking for a specific effect when you found out when you did this the first time to TikTok, and now you're trying to recreate what you did. So how are you doing that? Are you like studying by going back through your old notes? Are you
Does
What
Zing
those?
keep
tinkering?
notes?
Does Zing keep notes?
What are
Um,
those?
Remember, whatever you're doing is going to be at -1 die because your hands are still burned.
Oh
I
yeah.
would love to help Zing with this since, I'm still interested in the.
Sure.
Or, you can ask Victor if he doesn't trust Ian. He thinks she's too much trouble.
She's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah, let's just heal the hand, then go on with that. I think we have enough coin. I have 2 coin.
I don't have any coin. We have 4 coin on the crew sheet.
I have 1.
I have some coin.
I think that should.
I don't see I don't see Farouk spending coin to help with the Zing's hands because he doesn't care. But he would definitely spend coin to help with the liquefying process.
Yeah, okay,
That makes
then
sense.
I spend my own coin for my hands first.
Okay. Who are you seeing to help you out with this? Do you want to go to a doctor? Do you know a doctor?
I mean, he knows a priestess.
Yeah, but
I
He might
mean,
know
do you
a
want to
healing.
go
Victor
to
help
her?
me out?
I mean, maybe. So,
Or you could ask Victor to do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
maybe.
I think
So,
Victor should be good enough.
like, if you look at your sheet, like
Yes.
the playbook sheet for Leech, you also know Stasia, an apothecary, who could possibly help you, as well as Maltesia, the priestess, who could probably help you.
I mean, it would be really awkward if I got too many. I mean, yeah, let's just do that. I guess.
It's gonna be really awkward. Yes, let's do that. I think that's exactly what I heard. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, we'll roll for her based on her quality. So if you want to roll let me see here. You want to roll 2 dice under fortune. Quality would be, I guess, what you'd choose from the drop down. Yeah, she's a 2 dice worth of healer.
That's.
Plus, you get a bonus die because she is your friend, even though she's your bad friend.
Yeah. That's
So when it says for extra, put +1 there.
it's engagement. No, not engagement.
No, it's quality.
What? So it's free.
So yeah, put 2 dice and then 1 into extras, or just put 3 and then 0 into extras. Either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, if I was taking detailed notes. And,
Wow.
Oh no, that's not right. That's not right. That rolled 2 dice, keeping the lowest.
Yeah.
Why did it do that?
I don't know.
Did you
I
put them
mean,
in
that
the wrong
would have been
place?
spectacular.
Hold on.
Oh,
It has the formula had keep highest 1.
Oh, you put 3 in as
The
the
note.
description instead of as.
Okay, I think there. Oh, wait, then. I don't know.
Here, I will do it for you.
I do it myself. It's not okay that I mess up so bad.
That looks better.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. And you rolled 3 dice. That was the correct number. Okay, so that is 4, so you get 2 ticks on your healing clock. which is on the character tab of your playbook.
Yeah.
Okay. So another coin you can spend to try again.
Yes.
Okay. Are you still with Maltesia?
Yeah.
I mean, how did if I remember correctly, a couple weeks ago, you slept with her while you were indulging in your vice. She was trying to convince you not to do weird things, and you were high, I think. And
And I got a trauma in the meantime.
yeah, that's right. So how is this looking like when you're there in when you turn to her to ask her for help? What does that look like?
My hands. I need help, please.
And then she just like, oh no, poor things, and like brings you in and coddles you a little bit. So you got.
I can't work without my hands. It's driving me crazy.
So you got 2 more because of that roll. So your recovery at 6 out of 8. One more roll like that will do it if you want to try to spend another coin.
I don't have another coin.
You can spend a crew coin.
I'm looking at your character sheet and you have another.
Not
was
anymore. I just removed it.
Oh, okay, because that was this one that you paid for. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Well, then, who wants to help him?
You just take one from the crew, I think.
Yeah, you can take one from the crew. Let me remove it on here. You can remove it on the game.
I did.
I think next time I should do the flashbacks regarding that times.
No, that was actually identical rolls, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4.
I need a bonus for that, right? I get a bonus.
Nope.
You get to spend the coin and try again.
There you go.
That's a good bonus.
That's everything. All right, you're healed.
You're actually overhealed.
Yes.
Yeah,
what does that look like?
Yeah, after spending a few days with Malastesia, you're feeling a lot better. How does that look?
Do you just like leave her like, okay, thanks, bye?
Yeah.
No, I imagine that's the time he spent with her just was in his subconsciousness, and he got this trauma because of that. Or when he was all stressed out, this was like, you don't do that. That's not okay. Settle down a bit. This is dangerous. No, it is always now this voice in his head that distracts him, and he also
so Malastesia is his trauma?
Yeah, like that.
You're my trauma.
And I just tell Tab that I don't know, and I'm confused, and I don't know, but somehow her voice now always rings in my head, and I don't know what to do. I say stupid stuff, and I keep. Right, what was I talking about?
All right, perfect. Well, Zig, you're feeling much better. And I guess you leave her. And she's sad by how you keep getting so easily distracted and confused because she just wants to help you. But it's hard. It's hard when you don't want her help. But at
Sweet
least
in a codependent
your
way.
hands are healed. Yeah, exactly.
Go make some liquefying.
Yeah, let's make some liquefying alchemicals.
I think that's what I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you wanna play along on page 70 of the Quick Start PDF version 7.1, that is where we find out how to make alchemical formula. This in one of the handouts that
I have those on my laptop.
aha! Look at this. It's right here. I just showed the players, everyone. So as we begin, it is a eight segment progress clock to create. And so the first one, the first question I ask is what does the alchemical produce and what is the delivery method? And the player answers.
Clear.
So, well, we had already talked about this some. I mean, the effect is liquefaction, and you know, absolutely correct me if I'm wrong in any detail. The effect is liquefaction. The delivery method is injection.
I feel like there's multiple things that need to be injected, though, or at least some way in which it's complicated to deal with. Like, I don't know.
I guess if we are trying to tailor it from the beginning, we might just change that because it might think that's a bit unpractical.
Yeah, I mean, if we could make it ingested, that would be better.
I mean, I could handle the delivery with my sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that would be any problem. I mean, it would take time and would be easy to get them all off and to hit everything. Yeah, sure.
I mean, well, I think I'm pretty accurate.
Yes, but I mean, then you just have to shoot them. At which point, they know that they're under attack, and if you're shooting them anyway, you could have just like shot them with a bullet. Whereas,
I mean, the one thing to note is that by making sure that it's a non-fatal thing, because this liquefaction leaves them alive, living, thinking piles of goo.
So horrible.
Terrifying. You guys are not nice people. It's weird. What? So,
hey, we keep them alive.
In Blades? That's wrong. Wait.
It's weird. It's very strange. Who would have thought that? So,
Blades is very good at corrupting people.
Yeah, corrupting. We were definitely good people to begin with.
Well,
yeah.
To
an extent.
That's a good point. So yeah, I mean, is this going to continue to be injected, or are you going to look for an alternative delivery method?
I think injected is fun.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea of poisoning the drinking water, or like mixing it in.
Yeah.
Then it looks like we weren't there. It looks like they just liquefied because they mess with us.
I mean,
it's so much more horrible.
Chance to shoot them.
Yeah, but it's so much more horrible if they don't know what's happening until it starts to happen, and it's more than one of them, and it seems like something that could spread and all of that.
I mean, I can reload pretty quickly. It's not that I shoot one and that's it. We just have to get them together in an area.
Okay, I mean there is the even if it's ingested, there still will be like active call for Yin's skills in terms of like she's sneaky, right? So, or is that just land?
Violence or sneaking? I mean, she is sneaky. She can do it, but
so
violence.
Violence, please.
I choose violence.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
at that point in the Dishonored mission.
Yeah. So the actual job of like delivering this stuff will definitely involve like sneaking in, and then at some point something is likely to go wrong, at which point there'll be violence.
Yeah, but I'm not good at skirmishing. there's a thing like Lan is.
Oh, it has to be like set up so that you. I see. Yeah.
Ranged violence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I could provide like ranged cover for someone else or whatever, but just shooting them is so much more fun.
I can relate to that.
And maybe it's just not possible to create this concoction in another way. I mean, it might just be the limitations of
Okay, so
liquefying someone.
it sounds to me like maybe we should do like a roll here, with Farouk trying to convince Yin that
Oh, definitely.
that
Probably.
we're trying to that ingested is better, that we need to follow that plan rather than just shooting them.
So I think that, I mean, I'm assuming from the way you're saying, sure, Hasa, that you are fine with, if he rolls well, changing Yin's mind.
Sure.
Okay, sweet. How like hostile is she to this suggestion? Is she likely to just straight up punch a bitch if he fucks up and says something poorly, or is she just gonna be like, eh?
I mean, she's pretty set on this. She wouldn't necessarily go and punch him. I think she'd choose a subtler method of punishing him.
Because
That sounds worse.
I think there's definitely risk involved, so it's not just going to be like a fortune roll here. I think it's actually going to be controlled, possibly even risky, for you to try to convince her of this. Obviously, any consequences, Hasa will be in the decision making process here. But so yeah, how severe of a consequence could fucking this role be for Farouk?
I imagine she wouldn't consider killing him.
Good to know.
I think like she if this I think if this goes wrong, I feel like she would. It's kind of a double thing for her because she wants it because this is her nature. She is violent by nature. She knows that that's necessarily not the best way, which is why it's possible to convince her. I imagine she'll just be like a butthurt teenager about it when it goes wrong. So, switching his shoes for a size smaller and like making his food taste weird and things like that.
Run off to your room and put loud
Maybe
music.
slightly more like psychopathical versions of those, but essentially that.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
So how risky do you think that makes it?
I don't know. I'd like to say like risky, I guess. Definitely not desperate.
Okay, no, I don't think it would be desperate. This is not the kind of I would not let you be like, oh yeah, it's desperate. I'll just fuck his shit up.
I mean, it's a bit in
I
between.
don't feel that.
Can we have in between risky and controlled? Like it's for my feeling, it's just a bit in between there. Like shit can definitely happen, but the shit that will happen.
Let's call it risky, but we'll just make the consequences on the more mild side instead of the stronger side. So,
like there's supposed to be consequences if it goes wrong, not just like your position weakens or whatever.
Yeah, in a controlled, if something goes wrong, you're blocked or you falter, or you can press on or withdraw. So I think this is risky, and if you fail completely, you've lost this opportunity, and you're not going to be able to change your mind. So I think risky is appropriate, and having like a conditional success, like a 4 or 5, would have less conditions than it normally would if it was risky.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like if you fail harder. But if you succeed even partially, then you succeed.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool.
So let me see. I think that Brooke feels pretty strongly about this. Like not getting his way in this uh, uh, would just upset his apple cart. Like it would mean that he's definitely not in control of like the group as a whole, and that
I mean, I'd be willing to accept. Of course, that's Kelsey's choice, but I'd be willing to accept a devil's bargain if you owe me one for an extra die.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's totally fair. Like, as long as as long as you both as players agree that you're gonna call on that and honor it. Like, if you're willing to say, I will call on this to make Farouk do something he doesn't want to do at a later date.
I would call upon it to allow a situation to be more violent than it should be, even if Farouk is not necessarily happy with that. So,
yeah,
if that's okay with Farouk, then
yeah,
obviously not this situation.
I'm gonna write this down. So,
this sounds reasonable to me. So, what I'm gonna do is sidle into it with in Farouk's sort of normal fashion, where rather than simply trying to convince Yin, he proposes and tries to talk her into it while taking her out of the town, giving her an opportunity to take like pot shots from roofs at whoever. He doesn't really care.
You really know how to show a woman a good time.
Oh yeah.
Here, definitely. Let's take your rifle and go up on the roof. Shoot someone. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
That definitely will put her in a good mood. That might make the situation more controlled.
So this is mechanically I'm using Rook's Gambit so that it's once again my go-to consort, and I'll also take that Devil's Bargain.
Okay. Boy.
That puts you up to a good amount of dice.
And this is standard.
5 dice.
In terms of effect.
Standard.
Okay.
Basically, standard is what we're looking at.
All right.
Boom. Was not a crit,
no.
So you're not like suddenly like thinking that everything that Farouk says is a good idea, which is probably
which doesn't sound like a good idea.
But yeah, he's definitely convinced you that
fine.
The less violent route is preferable in this specific situation.
And but he's promising you your violence later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I didn't know how my brother puts up with you guys. I don't get it.
All right.
I have to say, I thought of one weakness in our plan.
And what is that?
Only one?
If we liquefy them all, I guess after a few days, if nobody takes care of them, and it's hard to take care of them if they are on the floor, like all over.
They might end up dying anyways.
They might end up dying, and how do we burn them? And then we have a lot of angry ghosts around.
That would be an interesting Devil's Bargain.
I mean, that would be interesting, but it would be risky. I mean, it can also be the nice part of the plan, but it depends. If you think of something that we could use this ghost for our purpose, then
Well, I mean, we are going to have to hold the experiment of seeing what happens when liquefied persons are poured into the river. I mean, we need to know that that doesn't kill them immediately.
And maybe they get carried out to sea and they get turned into ghosts somewhere far away from us. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad.
And then they're
And
confused. It'll be
totally,
fine.
It's certainly not us to do something stupidly risky and just see what happens. I mean,
We'd never do that. William is definitely not thinking about smoking them right now.
So getting back to our liquefaction formula, Zigda, has Farouk convinced you that we should modify this to be a consumable?
all right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the answer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we gonna? So it sounds like we're still working on this plan of making the new sauce. I don't know.
The new sauce.
we call it canal docker sauce.
Or just Docker sauce for short.
Dr. Sauce.
It's used for
I
liquefaction.
don't know
of
why I
acids.
like that, but I do. Dr. Sauce.
Docker sauce.
Docker
No.
sauce without it. No.
I like Doctor better.
Okay.
Dr. Sauce. Fine.
Yeah. Well-known children's book author, Dr. Sauce.
Yes, that's actually appropriate. Okay, so Zing, are we going to roll again to are you going to roll now to make your clock on making this alchemical? Now that you have use of your hands again.
Yeah, sure.
Just use the crew coins. I will lower one from the crew sheet.
One here.
I think I can count on the help of Victor.
Yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, you can. Okay.
Yeah, totally. For 5 days, for 5, that's 2 ticks on your clock.
It's how big is the clock?
It's 8.
8.
Shall I remove?
All right.
Shall I lower the crew coins by 2 more, or by 1 more?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Shall I just remove them all and we do 2 actions?
Yeah,
Well, there's hold on. I already lowered, so we've used 1 so far, and let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How long does it last? Obviously, the answer is permanently, unless you're going to change it now that you're making it. Since you are perfecting the technology, how long does it last?
Well,
permanent is fine.
Yeah, I think if it's not permanent, then it's going to bite us back. Yeah, even more than it probably will. But
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
For as
Totally.
long as I want them to be liquefied, I don't develop.
I mean, you've
cure
been
for it.
trying to fix TikTok before you transferred his essence into a dead demon dog. So so far as you knew, you did not have a way to reverse it. So I think
but
fictionally that makes sense.
Because I thought it would be better or more fun to convert him into a demon dog.
Well, there you go then. Well, I mean, that's because you kind of tanked that project, put it to the side.
Nice.
Right.
So I'll lower it
That's
by 1
a
then?
crit. That is a crit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, excellent.
Wonderful.
That is 5 to your
Damn.
your clock there.
So I need 1 more.
So before you do that, look at the handout that I gave you on alchemicals and check out on the left-hand column alchemical formula questions number 3 that you ask me.
Where did it go?
Hold
Just
on.
disappeared. Why did it disappear?
I don't know.
I'm the biggest Roll20 noob ever.
I just pressed the button to show to all players again, so
Okay,
should have popped
yeah,
up for you.
Okay. And now the old one is here again. Why?
I don't
Okay.
know.
So I
Probably it's just being slow, I would guess.
what was it again? The change the formula?
No, the
Yes.
third question.
Third question.
Of third question. Okay. Players ask, how is it harmful to consume or dangerous plants? Does it require any rare material?
Yes. Okay.
So
How is it? So you ask me and now I answer.
okay.
So it does require rare materials. We'll get to in just a second. But how is it dangerous to handle? So it is dangerous to handle because it can basically backfire. It's it has a chance of like if you have like a scratch or anything, if it gets into you, it can liquefy you, even a small amount. And yeah, you don't want to touch it for risk of being liquefied yourself.
Yeah.
It also is an arcane thing, which you also, whenever you utilize it, will get the side effect of complication of 4 clock of accosted by spirit wardens 1 tick per use. So basically what that means is every time you use this alchemical thing in order to, every person that you use it on is going to put a tick onto that clock unless you roll as to resist the side effect.
And that's each person, even if you're
Yes.
doing it in mass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's good to know. I don't
Not
think it'll
each
stop
person,
us,
it's
but
gonna be each
it's
person.
good to know.
I don't think it's going to stop you either, but
That makes it hard.
it definitely makes it hard. And then there's a second there's another question. I just need to write all of this stuff down so that I do not forget it. But if you want to look at the next question and be ready, I have an answer for that as well. Oh, materials. Yes, sorry, I was going to get back to that. See, this is why I got to write it down. 1 second.
Okay, so
Sorry.
no problem.
Almost there.
Okay.
Go ahead. Talk about yourselves.
In any case, there's still like another tick that we need to do. I think
Yes.
that if Zingd is okay with it, Farouk would very much like to be like directly involved. Like he'd be happy to help like study the whatever rare and forgotten part needs to be unearthed, that sort of thing.
Can always look at my genius work. Of course.
Excellent.
dangerous small.
Oh, and Kelsa, don't
Spice.
forget to remove one of the coins from the crew sheet.
Thank you.
The only one left.
Oh, is this for taking one more?
Yeah,
This is for
the-
last
the-
act. No, I'll
Yeah,
actually.
this is for last.
Farouk will actually spend the coin. He's like he'll from
But it can
his
be
own
for
stash.
the next downtime action, but for like last one where Zing rolled a 6.
Yeah.
This was
Oh,
the
that was the last one off of the crew. Okay.
Okay, so materials.
So it requires a exquisite asset. You have to acquire as like a downtime action. It's basically simply I say simply, but there's a certain kind of fungus that grows out in the Deathlands, and you can either take a downtime action and the acquire asset downtime action in order to find someone who is selling that, or you guys can do a score to go out into the Deathlands and find it yourself. So yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel like this is something that Zingdid had on hand originally when he liquefied TikTok the first time, and he'd used it not entirely understanding what it would do. And now, like, as he's going through and he's almost finished making it, he's like, I can't replicate these effects. Why not? Why not? Wait a minute. I had this weird fungus. I didn't know what it was or what it did. And you realize that is like the final ingredient. So, so now question number 4.
Yes.
You want to read that to me?
Of course. How long does it take to create a dose?
Okay. So I choose a size of the project clock and the number of doses produced. And so this is something where you can make 2 doses with a 6 clock. So a 6 clock will give you 2 doses. As far as your plan to liquefy everyone, like in this case, like if you suspect that if you take enough doses and put them in like the dosage is a little bit loose. If you were to put it into, say, a water supply, maybe 4 doses worth could spread out and liquefy, or at least partially liquefy.
Partially liquefied is
Good
fine.
enough.
Yeah.
I think that's
enough people. So, yeah.
then they can be burned. Oh.
So yeah, it's basically a 6-2.
All right.
You need to do it twice to.
Yeah.
The
We also need to get the death shrooms.
what did we use the last coin for? The last crew coin?
The last coin is to do, or we didn't use the last crew coin.
Oh, okay.
I thought Farouk used his personal coin.
Yeah, I thought Farouk was going to
Okay.
use his
Yes,
personal coin.
I marked off the last coin on the main sheet because I thought that's what you said, Hassa, that he had.
Well, either way, we're gonna need more coin.
So yeah, and it looks like there's just no way we're going to get this done before we need to do another score. So we might as well make the score. Since we've invested this far, we might as well make the score getting the fungus.
Yeah, seems like good.
Well, there's still one more question we need answered. And now that the clock is completed, and that is, Zig, what rare, strange, or adverse aspect of this formula has kept it in obscurity and out of common knowledge? Like, why isn't everybody liquefying people all the time?
Because they're not as good as doing this stuff.
It's not as simple as that. What have you done since you are so much better than everyone else that no
Well,
one thought to do in order to bring this out?
there are some principles that most alchemists abide and think that everything goes about those rules, and I don't listen to that rules because they are bullshit, and you
I
should
have
never
an idea.
use this and this together. They cancel each other out. I don't believe that universally.
How
I
about
just tried out.
it's a location bound thing as well? Like our obviously where we are is an unusual place. It's been home to some kind of a religion. There's some horror from outer outside of reality there. I mean, that might create very different conditions than anywhere else.
I mean, the secret could also be that just Dioneia helps me out while I do it without me noticing.
Yeah. I mean, I like either one. Like, I kind of like that.
I mean, it's up to Zing.
Yeah, Dioneia just I put this drop in and I vanish before everyone else notices.
Tears of
Okay.
the god.
Yes.
So this is
And
truly.
so does she help you because she likes Zing or because she wants this effect, or both?
I guess she just thought likes messing with me and my stuff, and she just likes the chaos and likes messing around as much as I do.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, initially started as a way to punish TikTok for killing a homeless man. So
True. Cool. Well, now you have a liquefying formula of Docker sauce, and it is
It's a great name.
yeah, everybody loves it. Brilliant. So yeah, your um your choice now as to what you wanted to do with this knowledge, and so you can make a score out of going out to Deathlands. You guys are almost out of money. Um, I mean, there is a coin left. You could just spend that coin to try to gather it, to try to get um,
Get the assets.
the asset. The problem, though, is if you mess up that roll, since you need an exquisite asset, is that you wouldn't actually have the asset that you need. So probably making a score is going to make more sense. Especially because you're going to need to make 2 batches of this and probably want some money while you're at it.
yeah,
Would the score just get us enough for one dose, or would it be for multiple doses?
Multiple doses.
Okay.
I think score makes sense because if we're not doing that, then what are we doing? Because we don't have enough coin to finish those 2 6 clocks. Unless we like crit like all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's just go into the Deathlands and save our coin for like trying to finish those clocks and maybe make a little more coin while we're at it. Gather some other materials in the Deathlands to sell. Might not be entirely our thing, but
yeah, I could have a chat with Sister Thorn. She might have some things out there that she needs collecting.
Yeah, sure.
Rather not risk her own people. That's how we can phrase it.
Yeah, we can get something for her as well as the mushrooms while we're out there and see if that can make us a little coin.
Yeah, seems like a solid plan.
So who are you trying to
William's purveyor.
Yes, my purveyor.
Ah, yes, okay. That makes sense. Totally. Yeah, she can give you a list of things that she would like to see brought back from the Deathlands.
Cool.
So how do you guys get out of the city?
I sneak us out.
Right through the electrical walls.
Huh.
Keep spirits out.
Getting in and out of the city is not easy. Last time you guys, I believe, bribed some bluecoats at along the spirit rails.
Oh, I thought it was hard
I think we
getting
distracted
back into the city, but out was.
I guess that's accurate. It's harder to get back in than it is out, but still, most people are raise an eyebrow or two while you're walking out the door. But what's the plan?
This sounds mostly like a stealth plan. Like we're trying not to anger any of the scary things out there. That would be nice.
Yeah,
Just
that makes sense.
Make sure that we're not seen. But other plans like protecting ourselves in occult ways or whatever, like combination of things. I don't know. Stealth plan is what I would say. But anyway.
Yeah, I think stealth makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
I will definitely try and compel some spirits to create a distraction elsewhere, like close enough that the specific area that we're trying to get through would be called upon to go deal with it, but far enough away that it distracts them elsewhere rather than calling more people to where we're going.
Yeah, and Trouble will give everybody like some last moment pointers on. No, you don't sneak like that. Like here, move your feet like this.
Okay. So this is we're looking for your point of infiltration to get out of the city for this stealth plan. I say your point of infiltration into the Deathlands is really more like a point of extraction from the city. But I guess the question is, are you guys going to be going like through the train terminal, or looking for a way past the lightning barrier on the outskirts of the city?
Train sound good.
So would that involve like just taking a train out and then jumping off at some point?
That's definitely one way you could do it. Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely seems unnecessarily dangerous. Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's take the train like normal people and then jump off halfway. That sounds a good idea.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
I guess not as stealthy because we're just normally taking the train, but
the stealthy part would be jumping off without being noticed and/or electrified.
Right. Do you want to jump into this, or would we like to wrap up here? We're running low on time. Brad, as this is your stream, what would you?
I'd be fine with continuing, but it's actually up to you. I mean, you have another game that you're going to run afterwards, so I
actually do not have my other game today, so if we ran long, it wouldn't be a problem. But
I mean, I don't.
It would be awkward to pause this in the middle of an out of city, in the middle of the out of city adventure. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well,
probably won't make it happen in half an hour. Then nothing will be happening.
Yeah, I'd be able to go beyond the normal time, but I didn't know if that goes for everybody.
Yeah, I can go for a bit longer.
It's a bit awkward because I always have my friend from Greece that's the last weeks here waiting that I come back and do something with him.
Okay. I mean, if he's waiting on you, we don't need to go over. I guess we can just wrap up here.
I mean, it would actually make sense if the thing would just send you
Oh shoot.
for doing it anyway, and then you could just do the score without want to angry about it, or
Let's see. How about we do the engagement roll, see how that plays out, and then end it after that.
Sure.
So, know what kind of danger we're getting into next time.
That sounds good.
Leave it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's do the engagement roll then. So, your
I guess technically we're going up against the Railjacks.
Yeah, the target here is the Railjacks to get in and out of the city unseen, as well as the mysterious who knows what of the Deathlands.
Yeah.
So let's see. They have standard preparations for people trying to jump the train. I don't think there's anything you guys have done particularly to put you into a more advantageous situation here. So we're just looking at 2 dice.
All right. See, should we roll this, or do you roll that?
I'll roll it.
Rasa loves bringing us trouble.
I do. Plus, then you can't blame each other for this. No, 5 is good.
Yeah.
All right. It is mixed outcome. Tougher than you expected or rotten luck. I think it's tougher than you expected. So as you are like you've done this before, but as you guys are getting up to go to like between trains and jump out,
maybe the train is going faster.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. The train is going faster than you expected, so it's going to be dangerous to actually jump. Significantly more dangerous than you thought it was going to be. So the complication here is perfect. I like it. So yeah, we're stopping the 4 of you are on the train, and you get to the point where you're about to jump out, and you realize that first of all, like you get on the train and you realize that you think it's going a little bit faster, and like you had a plan in mind to jump out at a specific point, and you realize that it's coming up like sooner than you were prepared for. Mm-hmm. So you all rush to get to the between platforms in order to jump, and you get out there and you look at the scenery rushing by, and you realize one of you turns to the other and is like, it's going too fast, and then we'll just next time. Yeah. Cool.
Wonderful.
Cool. Let's do some XP. I like XP. I think you all deserve some. This was a good episode for. You guys didn't do a score. You just barely got started on one, but there was a lot of stuff that happened, and I think it very much was quintessential to the Shroud of Diania, which will be important in a minute when we do crew XP. And actually, you want to start at crew XP? How does that sound?
Okay.
Looks like you guys already have a bunch of advancements floating that no one has been taking advantage of. We may need to fix that.
Yeah, I should look into that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We have advancements.
Yes.
Yeah, that you guys haven't. There's still at least, I think there's still one that you guys did not actually use.
I'm pretty sure we did use it.
Okay.
We
So I'll
chose
delete my note.
Elhands and Conviction. Not sure
Oh
what
yeah,
Conviction
you got
was.
Conviction. That's
Yes.
right.
What was Conviction?
Spend downtime actions and worship at one of your sacred sites to
Okay,
clear
right.
half of your stress, and carry a bonus die forward onto an action in which you have supplicated to your god. So instead of doing your normal downtime action of clearing a stress, in order to clear stress, whatever, you just automatically clear half of your stress, and also get +1 die in the future when you're doing something to gain Diania's favor.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. I forgot that you'd taken that, and so
Me too.
I would have reminded you about it. But cool. So let's see. Did you advance the agenda of your deity or embody its precepts in action? Were you alluring and sinister?
See, I think we're working on it. I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
But we didn't
Our plan is certainly sinister.
Yes.
Not very alluring, but
No.
definitely sinister. I think you're working on it, but I don't think you actually advance the agendas of it.
Really?
Challenges above your current
I
station.
mean, I did start on the clock towards at least setting up this marketplace of doom.
That's true. I think you also get 1 XP for that. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Not really.
Yeah, I think
you did anything particularly strange, freaky, or terrifying
we're
this
working
time.
on that.
Next time, definitely.
Next time.
And did you express the goals, drives, and inner conflict or essential nature of the crew? Yes. There was definitely inner conflict. There was a PvP role going on.
Mhm.
The essential nature of the crew of being weird fucking cult very much came out. So that is going to be a total of 3 crew experience.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So that
I have
gives us another advance.
an immediate idea
and
for our
2 more.
advance. That is the mastery training thing. Because I'm pretty sure that Farouk already has a level 4 thing, which we would have had.
If you didn't already have it.
Which
That's
we would
good.
have had.
I like it.
to
Let's
have
do
mastery
that.
for.
Oh, oops, sorry.
You're
But-
right. I somehow did not realize
And that is 2
that.
points, so that takes up our mastery. Or
Perfect.
our advancement.
Thank you for being my backseat GM, Hasa. I appreciate it. Like, I'm totally honest there. As some people say that in sarcastic ways, and I want you to know that I do appreciate you. Cool, perfect. That takes care of that. Let's move along. Who would like to do XP next? Next,
William
as I
Kildare
said.
should definitely be.
Ah,
up
yes,
next.
Sure.
our spider.
Yes.
So, did you address a challenge with preparation or calculation?
Did we really address challenges?
No, I'm not sure
Question.
if there was much of a challenge. I think we talked about potential challenges and making preparations for whatnot.
A good point.
Yeah.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
See, I don't quite think so. Maybe the whole, like, we should just have the demons and impregnate all of them thing. I think that brought up during
I think he did.
character conversion.
By talking about how he met like specific people, like his purveyor of vice and his blue coat.
And I also feel that you did as well when you went to the meeting with the demon with Farouk, and were very regal and noble and so forth. You're so I
And
think
high.
you get 2 XP there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and high, and you came high. Totally. Like, that's on our next thing. With did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma? And I think that when you were like, yeah, I'm just gonna take the death essence and then go with Farouk on high. I think that falls under that for sure.
For sure.
So That sounds like 3 experience points to me.
Wonderful.
Cool. All right. Farouk, you are a whisper. Did you address any challenges with knowledge or arcane power?
Let me see. I was certainly seeking knowledge.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of challenges, and I think you were more learning than you were knowing. So I'm going to say no. However, your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background were definitely played up quite a bit. And issues from your vice or traumas. Did your cold really cause you any issues?
Did it cause me trouble? Well,
I think so, because he decided not to try and figure out, not try and do like the smart thing by figuring out what exactly this demon baby was.
Yeah, like
yeah.
directed distancing yourself from the demon baby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll give you one there too. So I am seeing 3 there as well.
Okay.
Zinged. Dear Sweet Leech, tell me, did you address any challenge? Did you even address any challenges this time? I think you're probably the only one who honestly did in creating this alchemical formula.
Woo!
I
did something.
You know, because that is definitely technical skill and it's definitely a challenge. Like,
yeah,
that I think is accurate. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? Definitely at least a little bit, especially when you turn to Maltesia for assistance with your hands, and then that leads right into struggling with issues from your vice or trauma as you then alienate yourself from her by being really unstable.
Yeah. And also being unstable to Yin, and basically every time when I'm talking, being a little bit crazy at least.
So definitely the trauma
4.
as well as drives.
I'm seeing 4 for you there. Because you were definitely being as zinged as you could be.
Oh, that sounds
nice. And then Yin, trouble. How much trouble are you in? As a
I don't
hound,
think I addressed any challenges in general. I mean, I shot stuff, but that was only because Farouk told me to.
I mean, that wasn't a challenge. That was like
stress relief,
relaxing murder. I mean, probably nobody died, or else you guys would have took some heat for it. You just like shot random people in their leg or whatever. Definitely your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background came into play there. With your associating with the silver nails, with
and
trying to
ask Zinged about like what's land like what?
Huh? Yeah. And issues with your vice or trauma.
Not really.
Exactly. But I think you get 2.
Actually, no, I'm gonna put that in prowess instead.
Put it wherever you want.
Next one is playbook, but first I'm gonna get an extra point in prowess.
But first,
nice.
Gonna be useful.
There's more.
Sweet. Now I can prowl like a boss as well.
Sneaky.
Sweet. So, yeah. I think that's everything for end of session stuff. We've got some good notes for where we ended, so we can pick right back up and jump to the action as the train picks up speed and you're all standing outside between the rail cars, trying to decide if you can jump ship or if you're going to try to hike back from the next city.
I guess you could say we're going off the rails.
Oh.
Yep.
for that. All right, I'm gonna throw the ball back over to Brad so he can
throw it back to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it back to you, but that's cool. So yes, thank you very much for running and everybody for joining us. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I guess I will pretty much throw it right back to you in terms of asking, uh, what are you doing on the internet these days?
What am I doing? What am I not doing is the question. Most weeks I am playing in 5 different streamed games, and the first one is every Wednesday at 10. All of these are in Pacific time because that's where I live, so deal with it. Every Wednesday at 10 a.m. you can find me right here, twitch.tv/RPGlory, where we play Blades in the Dark and I run the game. Tomorrow is Thursday, where I play on twitch.tv/Henley in Die Party Fulcrum, where we are superheroes in after a strange event, seemed to cut the world in half at just one half, like half a micron thick, and everybody got strange superpowers. That is a lot of fun. Every Friday, I am on twitch.tv/apgamingreal, where we are actually wrapping up. Tomorrow is our final episode of Mistborn Adventures Alloy of Law and Mistborn Adventure. That game has been going for quite a while now. It has been some of the most fun I've had on the internet, and we're gonna really go out with a bang on Friday. So I'm looking forward to it. There may be literal explosions. Saturdays, I normally play in 2 games. They're both Blades in the Dark related. I play in It's Never Sunny in Duskfall on twitch.tv/Eric Vulgaris, where I am a hound. And then after that, hosted by on twitch.tv Golden WH, where we play Household Renovations of Great and Terrible Power. However, that is actually on a brief hiatus, and I'll come back in October. So that is the 5 games that I play in 4 days a week. And if you want to find all of those, it's way easier if you just follow me, twitch.tv/KelsDelphi, or on Twitter @Kelsa. Then you can find out when I'm going live in all of those places, and I host it on my channel, and then I shout out to my friends like Rast181. Oh God, I can't even say your screen name. I'm sorry. Who are watching me on my channel, and I saw you there. I don't know why I can't say your screen name, and I'm not even going to try because I'm going to butcher it, and then you'll hate me forever. So
Yes, Kel.
not
Terrible.
not true. But,
All right.
Part of the conversation Twitter #KelsAButchersNet.
okay. Anyway, that's all of my things. It's a lot of things. So move on. See if anybody else has any cool things that they're doing. Umbra, are you on the internet anymore?
Not really. I'm on here, I suppose, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central European time. For you civilized folk out there.
way better time.
Yeah, the best time. The best
Definitely.
Times.
Right, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a majority. It's official.
we have a majority.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Well.
I'm dealer Umbra on all the things mostly, and I guess this is what I'm doing now. This is my life.
Welcome to your life.
Finally, thank you. I've been waiting so long. Finally have a life, sort of.
And
A half-life.
yeah,
A life after a fashion.
in the way that the undead have a life.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, I suppose.
Or a radioactive substance.
Yep, so that's me. Somewhere in between undeath and radioactive Death.
Give me one thing to look at that.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think if Zing looks at that, it's not gonna get any.
Yeah, so speaking of various forms of death,
It gets better, it's just depending on
Mark,
the
what are you doing on the internet
perspective.
these days? Speaking of various forms of death.
What does Zing do?
I
Yeah.
just going through world history, finding my place, lose it all just to find myself, to emerge again.
Good deal. And Hassa,
I mean,
what-
like Sir William Kildare. My life is here, obviously. What other life is there than this magnificent, horrific, strange role-playing show?
well, to answer that question, in addition to all the you know absolutely awesome stuff that Kelsa is up to on the internet, also here
You also do a lot of things.
yes, a fair amount, not as much. But on Saturdays now at 8 p.m. Pacific. I know it's uncivilized, but still, you know, what can you expect from America? There's Taking Water Deep, which is into its final phases. There's still a few more episodes left, and you know, crazy things are mounting. Let me see. The mage of the party is really starting to unleash chaos everywhere around him, wherever he goes, both intentionally and unintentionally. In that he's interacting with this artifact that is a gate between worlds. Yeah, there might be a theme there. And on Sunday at 4 p.m. again Pacific, I'll be playing in Cartoon Action Hour. It's Space Ninjas doing Space Ninjas doing 80s cartoon stuff. And then, of course, next Wednesday at 10, we will jump off a perfectly functional train. So that'll be good. So thanks again, everybody.